What's going on, guys? Welcome to the American podcast.
Hello, hello. Wow, more energy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Today we have Rich and we have Edrian.
yo, Vlog Squad SD
Whoop, whoop.
in the house.
And we're not even complete yet.
No, Vlog Squad is just
It's
growing.
it's getting bigger and bigger. And,
That's awesome.
And Rich and I have been here since January, just of this year.
Yeah. So Rich and Adrian, they been coming to the San Diego YouTubers meetup for a while now, and the studio's pretty new. I mean, I think we first started meeting at Starbucks, and then when we opened the studio, started coming here. So
I saw a photo and I was like, oh my goodness, how do y'all do it?
At
So you
Starbucks,
got
it was kind of hard.
it was hard. Yeah,
You were there?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Oh, I forgot, my bad.
yeah, it's hard because obviously having a space like this, you have the opportunity to fit more people versus at Starbucks. You have a small table. You're lucky if you get the big table, and the big table still fits only like
It's
9.
very limited.
And you don't worry about getting kicked out because they're closing.
Right.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yes.
Way back when. But no, welcome to the podcast. Just introduce yourselves a little bit.
Okay, my name is Edrian Pangilinan, and I am 27 years old, an all-around content creator, starting from fine arts all the way now to YouTube. Like I was just saying earlier, I've done everything, and I feel like now, almost at 30, I feel like the next best thing for me right now is being a content creator on YouTube.
How do you like the YouTube space?
Hmm. That's a good question. It feels it feels nice. I mean, it feels nice because while we're doing this, I feel like I actually have a tangible community that I can say that I'm a part of versus like when I first made my YouTube account back in 2006 and it was just a hard drive,
Sure.
thing, but it's been like coming back to it has really been nice.
Got some real people behind, it's not just the people online. You're actually seeing real people now. And
Yes.
at Picture Flicks, I know that's what we're trying to create is just the community, and you guys being a good part of it. What about you, Rich? You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm the one and only Rich Benares. If you ever need a date on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night, feel free to DM me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever Snapchat. I'm all there. But you can find me on basically YouTube under Rich Benares. That's pretty much it.
There you go. Awesome. What about your content? You guys are content creators. What kind of things are you guys putting together?
Oh, that's a good question.
It actually mine has evolved. Like at first it was all about my car, and then now it's more or less like just sharing what's on my mind. Like if something bothers me, I will vlog it, and I will just speak the total honest
Being
truth
a
about
personality.
about
That's
exactly what I feel about that certain day, and then if but also you got to understand too. You can have a voice and you could have something to say, but YouTube is 100% entertainment.
Sure.
Right? It's 100. You have to be entertained, no matter, and you have to be able to give some sort of product out to the
Value.
value to the customers or to your consumers, not customers, consumers, and basically, you're still. I just sit there, and you have to mix it with a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Adrian? What's your content looking like these days?
Well, going back to YouTube last September, I think I think even though like my stuff is all over the place, at the end of the day, the heart is still on representation as a Filipino man, person of color. I mean, it sounds preachy, but why not? Yeah, it's really about that. I mean, but looking at the content that I've done so far, not sure if I'm there yet, but I'm working on it.
Awesome. I know your
Yeah.
edits are real cool. I know the intros are real dynamic and fun. And,
Thank
and I
you.
know at the meetups themselves, I know people really enjoy meeting you guys and seeing what you guys are putting together. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think what it is that we're actually doing it. So if you're ever at the meetup and you say you want to start a channel, you better fucking start it.
Yes,
do it.
because we will hound you. to,
No, I mean,
like,
because the
keep
thing
you
is that
accountable.
we are doing it, and we consistently talk to each other about projects that we are
Yes.
planning on doing,
Yes.
and then we move towards that. It's it's a lot of times talk is cheap, right?
Yes.
So it's all a matter of like I talked to Vince. I'm like, hey Vince, how are we gonna get this stream going, and we can go duo. We spend like hours a night. I mean, like sleep at 2 a.m. trying to figure out how to actually get the stream going.
It's
And-
cool to know that you guys aren't just talking; you guys are actually doing it, and probably even more so for the love of it. Not necessarily. I know people are really following the money, and even
What
following
money?
the followers and all this other stuff. But really, at this point, I think you guys just made it into your lifestyle. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have this big thing about following the money, and I think my last vlog, I did talk about it at length, and it's like if you concentrate so much on chasing the money, your content will always suffer because you don't spend enough time on your content.
True.
Yes.
So you're gonna spend so much time on getting 1,000 subscribers, getting all these watch times that don't really matter, and then what? You can't sustain it.
Right.
You can't sustain it, and then you burn out because now you're trying to figure out why the 1,000 subscribers that you had, and now you're trying to make money, trying to get monetized. You have 1,000 subscribers, but you're only getting 10, 15 views. Guess what? Because
You
those
ain't
people
making any money off your 10 to 15 views.
no, but it's not just that. It's just you're what if you even if you had 1,000 subscribers and you only had 20 views, that's a piss poor number.
That's what I'm saying.
right.
That means your
Yeah.
content isn't keeping up with the numbers because
Definitely.
you're either sub for sub, and no one cares. They just want to sub for you because they think you're gonna sub to them.
Those sub for subs, those things are funny. Those
Yeah.
things are just too funny.
I hate them like,
Right.
with a passion.
I'm guilty. I mean, I think a lot of the things that you've just said, I'm guilty. Sorry. I think at some point I was guilty just because I was really trying to just like find my gauge on like, oh, how can I grow just in general? And then I realized, I was like, ooh, okay. I started realizing the hard way how like, oh, the numbers are dropping. Even though with the sub for me, I approached it still organically.
Sure.
At least for me, I would sub for people whose content I could actually see myself enjoying regardless.
Sure. Entertainment.
Yes, and then at some point, I just really, I think after I hit 500 subscribers, which is not entirely a big number, but for me, it's a really big number, I stopped caring about the numbers so much, even though it is still my goal to reach 1,000. And then after I reach 1,000, I'm like, okay, I think I'm good with really caring about the numbers.
Right. Still recording. I can't see it.
Yes. It's
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so take a look at that. I'm gonna cut this. Anyway, so again, we are an American podcast, and this is where our culture is. So we are on American podcast. Hello. We are on the American podcast, right? And so this is where our diversity is our culture. Kind of want to talk about a little bit maybe of your diversity, or if you've gone through any adversity where it kind of affected you, those struggles you had to go through in your life, whether it's YouTube or just life in general.
I think growing up as a very good-looking man.
Oh, it's tough. I'm sure.
It was tough. No, but you know, people always have this thing about most YouTubers are introverts. I was really pretty quiet, and when I was growing
You mean
up,
extroverts?
no introverts.
Really?
Yeah, most YouTubers are introverts outside behind the camera. I mean, once you remove the camera, they really remember jump cuts and everything makes you look like a super extrovert, right? But the one of the biggest hurdles that I had was at first it was just being able to find that extra oomph to my character
Right.
to get me up there. But then I was like, man, I'm pretty cool outside. I mean, I could just translate that into the YouTube world. So
There
that
you
was
go.
probably one of the biggest hurdles that I had in my early vlogs. I keep them there so people can always watch. So if I say, man, my first vlogs really suck, they're like, oh yeah, no,
You
they're
just go
I
back.
get it. Man, go back. You could look at them yourself.
Right.
Yeah, that's
There
why
you
they're
go.
there.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you do that, because some people, they will delete them just so they go, no, I'm always at this level. Like, no, really.
Oh, no.
Keeping it real right there. Rich. There you go. What about you, Edrian? You got-
Adversities?
Whether adversity, diversity,
Well, that's a okay. The thing that came to mind was Rich and I were a part of this um, YouTube messenger group on Facebook, and one of the person that founded it. I'm not gonna name any. I'm not gonna put any names, but he like called us out for basically being too American because we were. I forget what the words were exactly.
I'm gonna give you the full rundown. So
Okay.
basically, nothing happens in that freaking chat room except for the fact that people just post their links, right? So I join. I mean, Adrian joins and he invites me, and then I'm over there. I'm like, when it comes to text messaging, I'm just chatty. I'm just like, hey man, check this
I know,
out. I'm
same.
doing this.
Yeah, I
I'm doing
love
this.
text
So
messaging.
so so I'm just like conversing with everybody, and then one night some
It
guy
was
was
good
like,
for a couple months.
yeah. So one guy's like, oh, I speak Korean. I go, oh, I speak Korean too. We're speaking Korean, and all of a sudden this guy's like, oh, you guys think this is your own very personal chat room? This is a group chat. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, you know what? He's like, you just remember, guys. You guys are Filipinos. No, he said no. He said, remember, you guys are not full-blooded Americans. You guys are Filipinos living in
In the
America.
States,
And
yes, and
and I
I
bit my
was
tongue because me
I
and
was
curse words.
shook.
I would have been like, what the fuck do you mean?
I said something right away, and I was. I mean,
And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Like in
that was so rude. And
wow.
I'm sorry. Let me continue this. So I am very I not really confrontational, but I was like, "Excuse you," and then so I confronted him personally. Then I was just trying to get his side on why he felt that way, and at the end of it, it was just really his insecurities, but also he failed. Like he really refuses to like see his own like wrongdoings,
Yeah.
and it just got real nasty, and I blocked him. But it's
Oh, he's still my friend on Facebook, so you can see my
oh
success.
no, I blocked him all around. I was like, I'm not gonna talk to a wall, and it's I don't know, and I find it very ironic too because I've excuse me, I'm stuttering. I really consider myself very very Filipino, like in everything that I do, and it's like, and for me to have heard that, I was like, wait, what?
Huh, that's really interesting.
Perspectives are so perspectives
It's
and
well,
crab mentality.
it's a lot of times there's that Filipino mentality, and unfortunately, a lot of people go by it where if you speak English, you are considered mayabang or
Snobby.
snobby.
Oh
Like, oh,
wow.
like you think you're better than everybody else. You're gonna speak English. Like, I'm sorry, I've lived in the United States for over 40 freaking years.
But
Of course, I speak English perfectly well. I
but
mean,
out of
how the else do you think I communicate with my friends? You think my friends know Tagalog? No.
yeah,
Like,
and like out of both of us, Rich was the one that was really helpful to the group too. So when he came at us with that clap back, I was like, "Excuse you, you're not gonna talk to us like that just because you're being."
Well, it's
It was
super
nasty.
interesting because
Yes.
obviously we're on the American podcast. I'll say it again and again, but one of the reasons why I started it's because we live in America, and what makes America America is all the different kind of people that were here. You know what I mean? So we have
Yes.
tons of Filipino people. We have tons of Mexican people. Obviously, white people, black people, all of it. But that's what makes America America. So super great. But what really kind of kicked it off, it was like being here. There was a time, not even now, but like a time way back when I was young. Kind of, there was a point where I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not American enough, whether it's white or whatever, who knows? But I wasn't American enough. And I remember going to the Philippines for a little bit, and I didn't speak Tagalog and stuff like that. So at that point, I felt like I wasn't Filipino enough. So now as a grown adult, I feel like, well, shoot, if I'm gonna recognize myself, I just know I'm American. You know
right.
what I mean? And so I
Mhm.
don't ever want my kids to ever feel like they don't feel American enough or Filipino enough. You know what I mean? My wife's white, and so I don't know if they're ever gonna feel that struggle. But I just wanted to make sure that they have an avenue to go to if they need an outlet to maybe talk about it and maybe express it. So this is a great podcast for us to be talking
Yes.
about it now. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Thank you.
at this point, do you feel that way at all? Like you're not Filipino enough. I know it's been said, or you're not American enough. Is there a struggle there?
No. I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up playing hockey, skating. So not a lot of Filipinos actually did that. But I never felt like the non-white or the non-whatever. It was just I just grew up
It
that
was
way.
American, right?
It was just American, and I spoke the dialect, I spoke the language. I had no problems with it at home. The only thing I did, the insecurities was like there was a little times when, the whole ate kuya and all that stuff. I didn't really like being labeled like that, like because I didn't want my friends.
Why they called you
asking-
ate?
No, I
Just kidding.
Hey.
What's up? Hello.
no, I didn't like my friends asking. I guess I don't really know why there was a specific reason, but down south where my family's from, we say manang and manong, instead of ate and kuya.
That's fine.
And so
Love
my brother and my cousins and whoever, since I'm the oldest, they always call me manong, like manong, manong, manong.
That's
And-
very respectful, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I didn't like being called that.
Yeah.
I mean, now I wish they would. Now
Manong or
call me
kuya?
Manong. We say
Oh.
manong in the Visayas.
Ooh, okay.
So that's why everything manang and manong.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, but I think just, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever run into like any type of like problems as far as like either being Filipino. I think though, because I was separated from it, I did search for it at the end. Like within the last maybe 15 years, I've been
Sure.
kind of being more cognizant of Filipino history, Filipino culture,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to be more a part of it as opposed to just being quote unquote American.
Right. And when I say American, I mean there's nothing that makes us American.
Oh,
You know,
no, no,
speaking English or anything.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying like everything regarding like everything this side of the country, like music, movies,
Sure, sure.
everything like American,
Right.
as opposed to Southeast Asian or Asian in general. Because at
Westernized.
that point, I was like, there was as I was getting older, I was like, there's a lack of it. Like
Sure.
they Boo never really made it past one theater, and I went straight to went straight to VHS.
Right.
And there's like very little parts of being Asian that's available to the Asian community, because for some reason we don't look at it as something we celebrate.
Right. Right.
We come to America and we just want to assimilate to it. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to get in anybody's way. We try to learn English as quickly as possible, and
You
we're
want
just
to blend
American.
in and earn money.
Yeah, and if you don't,
And send it
you live like
to the
up in El Cajon,
Capamillas.
or you live in National City. You live in an area concentrated with Asians, so you don't necessarily stand out,
Sure.
and you own a shop and you start a shop. But yeah,
There you go. What about you, Jaron? I mean, is there anything in your life that maybe you struggled with the American culture or whatever the label might be these days in another country? I mean, I know you really pride yourself about being Filipino and representing that really strong, in which you
thank
do
you.
very well, by the way. But you struggle with anything like that?
Actually, before I answer your question, I have a question for you. Were you born here?
No.
No, right? Okay. Well, how old were you when you
8.
8? Oh, just kidding. Okay, I was 9. Okay, then. Okay. I was just curious.
I was one.
You were 1.
I was one when I came. Yeah.
Came in a basket.
There you go.
Well, I also agree with Rich how, like, thankfully, I didn't really experience so much, like, external backlash or any conflict with being Filipino. And I think it was more so a good thing. Like, whenever I talked about our culture, people were like, "Oh, I love your culture," because of all the food and all that stuff. Or like, "You guys are very helpful," So
I love lumpia.
I love lumpia, adobo,
Oh my God.
pancit, those 3 stock foods that they talk about.
Right.
But I think the problem for me has been more so internal, because somebody asked me like a while ago if I considered myself as an American, and I think I said no.
Oh, interesting.
I
Really?
even though yes, I'm an American citizen. Thank you, really thank you to my parents. Thank you for bringing me here. But it's funny because I've like always felt this way, but I've never like talked about it either. That I just feel like a transplant, because like if I really had a choice to stay there, I would have stayed there, because I felt that my life was there. But of course, now I understand why we needed to move here. So for like the 18 years that I've been here, I've just always considered myself just a Filipino living here in the States, but not necessarily an American.
So it almost sounds like you don't consider this home.
I I guess I want to, but
But what is it about the Philippines that attracts you, and that for you to go and say, I don't want to live in a land of perfect roads and air conditioning and go live over there where I have to probably
Do
get
you
a
just feel
jeepney.
more comfortable at that point?
I think it's the people.
Yeah,
It's the,
I can get that.
it's the people, the community. I think, well, because of yeah, I mean us, we're like very sorry, we're very eclectic, but at the same time, there's like the camaraderie. There's like that support that I grew up with,
Hmm.
especially with my mom. My mom's side, such a loving, nurturing family that I was with, and then when I moved here, that I got to grow up and get to know my dad's side, who who how do I phrase this? They've been here long enough. They've been here in the states long enough, so I could definitely. I felt the difference, and it was very cold, and I like.
Mm.
It was rough. It was really rough growing up here, and I don't know. It's I kind of feel like it, I don't know. I just feel like this question is sensitive too because I feel like it's something that I may have kind of just like brushed under the rug, like these suppressed feelings. And I think maybe the reason why I actually don't remember a lot of the stuff from my childhood in the Philippines was because maybe I was traumatized that I just
Hmm.
you know
Yeah, I have.
forced to just
This
move
is this
here.
is like Adrian's therapy
I
session right
know,
now.
right?
Therapy
They were
with
here for
Adrian.
you. No, but I don't think you feel you're alone in that feeling. I know I have brothers and sisters that feel the same way. They love going to the Philippines, and I would think that they would consider Philippines home and more comfortable in the motherland. But for me, I don't know. I haven't been in the Philippines forever and
Yeah.
ever. But at the same time, I don't know any other way but living here. You know what I mean? Like Mexican food. We just ate some Mexican food. I mean, that's American to me.
Yeah.
If I'm eating pasta, I'm eating Filipino food. That's American to me. So I don't know what it'd be like over there.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think at some point you just yearn to be there just because you're not there. But once you're there, I mean, like I'll be honest with you, I've thought about it. I'm like, okay, I should move to the Philippines, and life would be easy. I can get a house, a car, a maid, and I just have
it's
to
not
live
even
off.
that for me though. But
No. But
continue,
what
sorry.
I'm saying is that, but then I go, man, realistically, I have it pretty good over here. I mean,
Yes,
I have stable
yeah.
internet. I have good reception on the TV.
No brownouts.
No brownouts. I don't have to deal with EDSA traffic. It's stuff like that. But I know you're more on the personal kind of like internal
Yes,
side than
yeah.
than would me. I'm thinking more material. I'm thinking, hey man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through traffic.
Right. Well, for me, I'm like, how am I going to speak the language? I mean,
Yeah.
if people are going to look at me crazy if I don't speak Tagalog, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like I especially like growing up, I love being friends with. I mean, I love being friends with everyone, but more so specifically like how do you say bagong lipat or just recently they've just recently moved here from the Philippines.
The
Yeah.
new arrivals.
New arrivals, yeah, and then they talk about how it's different there now, and I guess like even hearing you guys, like just talk about what you talked about made me realize that I think when I finally go there I may also be there's a really good chance that I really could be seen as like a as a outsider just
Right.
because of how I think. Because I mean, yes, like I guess I really never got a chance to process all my feelings moving here, but I do believe that I'm American in a way where I am very progressive and very liberal in my thinking in my
Sure.
in the way that I express myself. That
Hmm.
black sheep, I think, moving here actually has helped complement that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
A
yeah,
black sheep. How are you a black sheep?
black sheep like different from the family,
Your immediate family, right?
the
Right
immediate
now.
family. Yeah,
Okay.
the only one that's an artist. Well, I mean, there's my youngest sister, but I mean, just in general, I like stand out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you think moving to the Philippines you would not?
Well, no, I mean it's well, I mean that's actually not even like really my concerns anymore because at this point it's like, well, I am who I am, and
Cool.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a really good question. I mean, I am really am trying to, like plan now to move back. I'm not move back to at least travel back.
Right.
So it's really gonna be interesting.
Well, hopefully, whether it's here or there, I mean, hopefully at some point you feel comfortable in your own skin. It sounds like maybe there you don't feel necessarily comfortable even in your own family.
I actually do feel comfortable in my own skin, at least now, but in terms of like
Good.
my immediate family, sometimes it could feel hard to just like be myself because I mean I love my family, but sometimes in the Filipino culture there kind of feels like an umbrella in a dark cloud sometimes.
Mm,
You know?
yeah.
That sounds. I don't know. That sounds like a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, it
Like I
sounds
mean, like
tough.
when you, quite honestly, when you describe, you know, family interaction as a dark, as like umbrella, like a dark cloud. That's actually like really serious. That's like not just like
That's a big deal.
yeah, that's a big
I
deal.
think is what he's saying, and
And I think maybe you're trying to escape that by trying to go to the Philippines because now you're not necessarily attached to that weight.
Yes, but well actually now as we're talking, I'm like, why? I'm now even wondering why. You know, so I don't know.
You're trying to run away. Run
No,
away.
no,
You're
I'm
trying to run
not.
away.
No, I'm not trying to run
You're-
away anymore. Not anymore.
Right.
Not
Listen,
anymore.
well, we are not therapists in any
All-
way,
all
but
my-
we're
all
just
my-
trying to. If anything, I think we're just trying to help you at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh,
trying to
thank
see
you. Yes, yeah.
why you might want to be going to the Philippines. I would again just love to know the exact reason why you might be wanting
My
to go
friends
to the
that my
Philippines.
friends that work at PAL or Adriana, if you ever see Edrian hop on a plane, kick him out. Tell 'em.
Well, at this point now, I think it's just something that I really have to do because I haven't been back.
Yeah, I have that same feeling. I would love to go back. My mom is from Sorgao, and that's from my understanding,
Siargao.
it's the south,
Hey.
and I don't know for
It's a pretty
That
beautiful area.
that's a.
beautiful
Sure.
I've
area.
been coming
Siargao,
tourist surfing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, so it's not a scary place.
No, Siargao.
Okay,
Siargao.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Siargao.
Siargao.
I thought it was Sorgao. Like it's Sorgao City, like north of
Siargao.
Well, I
Mindanao.
mean, phonetically, I think that's what it sounds
Yeah.
like, but I've
Yeah.
heard people say it.
Siargao.
Okay.
It sounds like
Pupunta tayo sa
fancy.
Siargao.
Sounds maarte. Siargao.
Ooh, okay.
Sounds
Good to know.
fancy.
See, I will really get beat up or something if I said Sorgao, and they'd be like, "What?" Okay. All right. Cool. Well, shoot. Well, hopefully,
Wow.
hopefully. I mean, I don't think we're gonna figure out why you want to go to the Philippines, but hopefully you get to the Philippines and you figure out, what you love about it and what you missed here. I mean, I would imagine you probably missed something here.
Yeah, it's.
The driving.
I don't know something, but
Spirit, maybe. I don't know. It's.
the Philippines, like I haven't been there since I was like 8 or 10 or something like that. But I just remember some real funny things about the Philippines, like all the stories, like the moo and the white.
Oh, yeah.
Lady.
The white lady.
So like those things, and what was crazier about it is that
I saw
people
one
believed it. They
here
weren't even like
in
a
National
story.
City.
But they're real.
That's what I mean.
No,
People are
they're-
like,
no,
no, they're real, and I'm
No, I
like,
saw them.
okay, I thought those kind of things are kid things that you
Momo.
keep, but like.
Aswang.
I feel like people really, truly, no matter how old you are, it's a real thing. Is that real?
Yes.
Wow.
I've seen one as an adult.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
yeah, my mom has lots of stories about things and why we do things a certain way, and they just don't seem real. But in the Filipino culture, like they're ingrained in your mind as a
Right.
real possibility.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's really realistic. If I were to move to the Philippines, I would have to make real big money and live like super lavish. I'm
But-
not going there to live like just whatever. I'm going there with knowing that I have enough bank in the bank.
But well, from my understanding,
wait,
though,
okay.
from my understanding, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you made $1,000, so even if you were like on Social Security or something, whatever you would make here, like $1,000 over there,
Yeah.
you'd be living
be-
really, really
Yes.
Not
1,200, that's what someone told me.
good. Oh, is that
I'm,
okay?
I'm thinking
It's like 60,000?
I'm thinking 2 to 3 grand. I'm thinking like the house, the car, like
So you're talking about like you're I don't
Not
know.
practical.
Well, I'm just trying to think of some YouTuber like what's the name? Something Paul.
Will Dasovich.
oh no, like Jake Paul.
Jake Paul or
Yeah,
something.
like that kind of house. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wait, what's the last one we were talking about?
So really, over
Oh, Uber.
a driver over a maid?
I would no. I would pick a maid because I need people to do my laundry and clean up after me.
There we go.
Oh wait, oh, maybe a cook.
No, maid,
Well, I
your
think
maid
I
can
think the
cook.
maid is the cook too, right? I mean,
I
don't-
mean everything, yes, but I mean I can do my own
Look,
cleaning.
I'll just hire. A whole
but I just
family.
need someone to help me with cooking.
No, I'll hire a whole family because there's going to be the mom, and then the daughter can cook, and then the dad can drive.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
that's the whole family.
Well,
you
no-
could even have a family house in the back.
Well,
And-
yes, because
And
I
the
know.
little and the little boy, the little child.
because
can
you're
be my
helping out that
gardener.
family at the
Houseboy.
same time, like they're helping you. So it's like it's a full circle.
Full service, even. Wow.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I'm glad we dove into a little bit about that, and I'd love to continue something like this later on, and get depth into the Filipino culture, and maybe even talk more about things that I've been missing that I don't know about. But I just want to say thank you guys for being on the show. Where can they find you on social media?
Y'all, you guys know where to find me. Watch the previous videos.
Okay, so for me, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook under my full name, Edrian Pangilinan, and then Instagram and Twitter is Edrian Pinguino, which is a stage name that my friends made for me. So hopefully they'll be linked down below.
Below. And Rich,
Below.
you're our Rich
Rich Benares.
Benares, but the actual
With a
YouTube
E,
channel
not
is
an I.
Rich Benares.
it's Rich Benares.
It's Rich Benares now. Yeah.
There we go. Not the Ako what?
Akosi Rich T. That was just way too
Ooh.
hard to pronounce. And-
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it wasn't hard for me to pronounce, but everybody else. But Instagram is still Akosi Rich TV. Oh no, it's still Akosi Rich. Twitter, Akosi Rich. Snapchat, Akosi Rich. Yeah.
There we go. Well, awesome. Maybe we'll plan a trip to the Philippines sometime, get a maid, a driver, and all the stuff we've been talking about.
Vlog Squad in the Philippines.
Well, we were talking about it. I mean, it's an idea.
We're talking about.
I mean,
it, but
I'm,
you know,
no, I'll be going back regardless. So it'd be
Awesome.
cool if people can
We'll
join
vlog it so
Yes.
we could see it, and then maybe we'll review it.
You
There
will.
we go.
You will.
Awesome. Thank you guys again for being on the American podcast, where our culture is our. Nope, that's wrong. Where our diversity is our culture.
yeah.
Amen.
Ingat
Thank
kayo.
you. Maraming salamat po.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Ano nga giseo?
Yeah.